Hey, what's going on, everybody? Soldier F1 here. With the week 4 duos just passing, we do have the VODs available to us right now. And because of that, I wanted to go through and look at some of these VODs and also give you guys 4 tips on how to increase your score in both the World Cup and also in Arena as well. This will also work towards Arena or any kind of competitive setting. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet. But before we start, feel free to use my supported creator code. It's just my name, Soldier F1. First thing I want to get into is using multiple angles in order to secure kills. Now, this isn't some crazy groundbreaking strategy that, only used in high tier level of play. Most people understand this. If someone's is sitting in a 1v1, it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier for them to turbo build the wall, right, or one wall as it is to multiple walls. So you go at multiple angles in order to break in order to kill that person, right? It's not, a lot of people know that. What I've noticed when I was looking at all these VODs is that the amount of priority and how fast they get to these spots. Like this guy, they're not both going to just target. Like you can see Symphony's kind of here. You have Sap and Zate and are pushing this wall. Like look at his angle. He's not going to just come right through here. He's going to switch his angle up, and they're both going to attack 2 different walls in order to get through right away. They're always pushing, and I've noticed this on across many different games, many different VODs and encounters, that they're going straight to it. They're forcing them into 2 different walls, and when the person moves, they move, and they still go into 2 different walls. Like whatever comms that they got going on, it's like, I don't know what it is, where you're saying I got this wall right here, and then so the next person just goes to another one, but they're just literally constantly putting so much pressure, and you're gonna get through it. It's mainly just when they find somebody in isolation, and then they just go straight to that. Like right here, you see how he just runs forward, and now he just builds through the top. He's just chopping through the top. He gets through, moves over. See him coming through. They finally get him. At this point, it's just putting the icing on the cake, and then they got this guy. Right here, you can see we got Nate Hill and we got Funk Bomb, and they're pushing Blue Tea right now. They're doing the finishing touches on Blue Tea. Look at this, right? Look how fast they go to strictly going into different angles. One's shooting one wall, the other one's coming from the top. He moves this way. Constantly different angles. Just trying to locate him at the moment. But look, like you see how like Nate Hill is not trying to also push through the top, not help him retake or anything like that. He's just going for a new angle right now. That's why you see him kind of jumping in the back. I think he just got kind of caught up. He was going to go down there, but now he's just taking a longer route. But he's just literally searching for an angle. Now look where he goes. Funk Bomb probably calls out where he's at. Nate Hill then jumps down. He's shooting from inside here on Blue Tea. Now look, Funk goes around and he jumps down, and now they got him pinched, and now they start working their way in. And here again, notice the prioritization of getting these different angles, even if it takes that little bit more time to get to your position. So right here we have Zundi and Nut. These are the people who had the highest score out of the qualification round. So they find them. You see Nut changing the wall. Instead of Zundi helping him to replace the wall, he's just gonna go straight down and change his angle up and come through here. So now they got the top. You see the priority on just getting 2 different angles and not even wasting time with putting 2 people up top. He just strictly goes to another angle. Now he switches it up again. Just keep them on their toes. Gets the edit off. You see what I'm saying here? It's not that it's groundbreaking strategy or anything like that. A lot of people use these things, but it's the way, how much emphasis they put on it and how quickly they get into position, and they just keep constantly through communication, just getting to opposite sides of the wall to get through and find whoever's in isolation, take them out, or especially if it's a solo. They just get strictly to it. They're not wasting time. It limits the time for third parties and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to increase your score. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is using your burner games when you're trying to get a lot of points. I guess this one's more strictly to a World Cup thing and not so much Arena. So you have 10 matches in order to complete the whole thing. Like that's the most amount of matches you can play. If you have full games, you are not going to be able to do 10 matches. You get to late game every single time. So there comes a point where you're doing your thing, and you notice like you only have X amount of time left, and on average one game is around 20, I don't know, let's just see, around average. Like this is a win game with 23, 24, 25. So about 25 minutes at the most. Plus you have your wait time. So you're just kind of calculating like, all right, there's no way we can get 4 more games in, or 3 more games, or 2, or whatever it is. We don't have enough there. We had, then you can calculate how many more burner games you have, so you can get squeezed in some more points. Now, if we look at this game right here, this is strictly a burner game. And I say, oh man, I just started it. Actually, like I was saying, this is strictly a burner game. This one, just number 8 right here, when they got 17 kills. Now, obviously, this was a very successful burner game. Were they trying to win? Yeah. The reason I say that is I've watched their games. If this was the first game, so when I first watched their replays, I watched this one. I watched how they played. I'm like, what the heck? Like, these guys are treating it like a straight. I'm about to show you here in a second, but they were treating this lobby like a pub lobby against like bad players. They were constantly just pushing, taking all the fights. If you watch some of their other games, they were, because once I started going into some of the other videos, I started noticing that they were not playing like that the whole time. But this game, they changed their landing spot, and then they go into a hot zone, and then the way they play is just so aggressive. Obviously, it worked out for them. I mean, if they're just trying to get any points they can, because they can burn that time. But look, they threw in a crazy number down, so it was like a very successful burner game. But I'll show you what I mean. Just ignoring their early game. Their early game, they just popped off. They dropped. They dropped at Paradise. Usually, they always go to Loot Lake, but they went to Paradise, and it was more of a hot drop. But they had a very successful early game with their clearing zone. But that's not really what we're focusing on here. This is just how many. They were not playing like this in the other games. They were just straight pushing people. They would just rift or launch or geyser to people and just straight push them. They take this fight. I'm not really going to show you the whole fight. They kill them. And after that fight, literally they're just gliding and looking for any sort of action. They're not looking to go to zone. They're not looking to play smart. They just see people. All right, call it out. Boom, they land. And after they're done with that fight, look at this. They're just falling around, going to the spot. There's a fight going on above them. Like, obviously, like usually you wouldn't want to take fights like this or just out in the middle of nowhere, because you're going to get third partied and all this kind of stuff. But they don't care. They just walk right up to this group. Engage. So they end up killing them and all that kind of stuff. And they die shortly after on the next push. But watching the way they played in other games, this is very uncharacteristic, and they were just going to get a lot of points and push because they had games to spare. All right, so we're back again with Nut and Zundy, and I just wanted to show you another thing you can do. You can lay down cover fire for your teammate if you're not close, in order to also get these multiple angles and to help secure the kill and also get you some more points. You see them pushing, but you see what Zundy's doing. He's sitting back further, and he's just layering down cover fire while he's pushing in. Pushing up, he's keeping him there. While he's doing this, you not go from the other angle. They have him in isolation right there. So this is just communication, focusing on one target. He's not really an issue. I don't really know what's going on down here. But you see Zundy just shooting this wall. This is keeping this guy to having to replace this wall and also the wall by Nut. He's in there, gets the shot. Now they're just moving forward. And now that guy's dead. You don't have to be right up on the build in order to help your teammate out and securing one kill. Focus firing one person, but also shooting just one wall that your friend's not targeting in order to help them secure that kill. So jumping back over to Saf and State. Now this is where they've been landing most of the time, unlike that one burner game that I was telling you about. But this is another thing that you can do to help secure yourself some more kills. Is when you're running up on some unsuspecting people, you can use different angles, like wide angles, and like setting up a trap. Like, notice how Saf legit, I've seen them do this multiple times too. This is just like a fluke. So Saf probably sees the people, calls for Zate. Zate, look where he's going. He's not running up behind him to be with him. He's switching up a weird angle right here. No one's opening fire. You see Sean move in. Now Saf can shoot him right now. Also, look what Zate's doing, waiting. He can shoot. It looks like they're both waiting for the right time to shoot this guy and just laser Sean down. Waiting, they're waiting. Now Saf pulls the trigger early because Homeboy starts taking Mini right out in the open. And Zate's over there. But look at the trap that they set right there. Like, I'm sure if this guy would have kept on walking, they were just going to wait for the right time when they were more out in the open, and both just pull the trigger and start shooting. What you see Saf do is just literally laser the hell out of that guy and drop him right away. but setting up the trap, not getting over anxious, not revealing their cards, just being secretive, and then sitting on 2 different angles and just waiting. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope there was something that I said that could help you guys score more points at World Cup or get enough points in Arena so you can partake in the World Cup. All right, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, thank you all, and I'll catch you on the next one.